All right, tonight we're opening a different kind of case file. You're not going to find any witnesses, no crime scene tape. The only evidence? It's etched into the very stone of the soul. This is case file 77, The Architect of the Abyss.
So, our whole investigation starts with this one, single, really unsettling idea. What if the place you think of as home, the very architecture of your identity, what if it's actually a haunted house? What if the floor fell out from under you a long time ago, and you've been a stranger there this whole time?
So, the primary location we're investigating, it's not a physical place. We're going down. We're descending into what's really a metaphor for the psyche, a kind of subterranean cathedral where the air itself just pulses with this dread, a feeling that something long buried is about to return. This is what the file calls the temple.
Now, our investigation shows this fundamental conflict. See, above ground, you've got the ego's wall, this carefully built facade of order, logic, and safety. But underneath all that, that's the psychic basement. That's the id. It's a place of pure, chaotic truth. And our whole case, really, it all hinges on what happens when that wall gets bypassed.
Yeah, the source file is really specific about this. This isn't just any old temple. Its walls are literally built from your own forgotten desires, your memories that have calcified over time. And that's what makes this place so uncanny, so unhomely. It's terrifyingly strange precisely because it's made of you.
Look, every descent into the abyss needs a guide, right? Well, ours is this figure known only as the prophet, or sometimes the holy fool. He's the architect of this whole uncanny landscape, but he doesn't preach. Instead, he etches these sigils, these symbols, into the stone. It's like a map designed to get past the ego's defenses and speak directly to that darkness way down below. Okay, so with our guide in place, we come across our first major piece of evidence, the first great etching carved right into the temple wall. And this clue, it's designed to unravel the whole idea of who you think you are. The case file describes it with this chilling clarity. It says, a human figure unzipping its skin to reveal a hidden mirror. It's a really visceral, shocking image, and it's there to mark the traveler's descent into a totally new and frankly terrifying realm.
This sigil actually has a name, the Ouroboros of the ego. The snake eating its own tail. It's a symbol of self-consumption, representing that moment when the I we think we know starts to devour itself and reveals something kind of monstrous underneath. So, the key takeaway here is, the self isn't being built up, it's being completely dismantled.
And this leads us to this concept of the uncanny double. The sigil forces you into this terrifying realization that yourself is really just a costume. That the I you cherish, the face you see in the mirror, is actually a stranger. The boundary between you and the so-called other is nothing more than a fragile illusion.
Let's move on to our next clue and see how this all connects. Because if that first clue completely shattered the self, the second one is a warning that the path to truth, well, it's a predatory one. This journey is not safe.
Over by the temple's altar, we find the next sigil. And the image is of a metallic key. But it's not turning in a normal lock. No, it's turning inside a set of gnashing, predatory teeth. The mechanism itself is designed to wound you.
This is the sigil of the severed key. And what it represents is the philosophy of the uncanny valley. The closer you get to the real truth, the more it bites back. This key isn't opening the gates to heaven. It's unlocking the dark cellar where all your internal monsters live. And knowledge down here, it's never free. It's paid for in the currency of the soul.
So, we've followed the clues, and now we've arrived at the very heart of the temple, the central pit. This is the climax of our investigation. This is where we confront the ultimate, silent authority that governs this entire underground world.
High above us, carved in negative relief, is the hollow sun. It gives off no warmth, no light as we know it. Instead, it radiates this cold, dark light, a shadow that's somehow more solid and real than the stone it's carved from. This is the dead father. This is the absolute authority of the uncanny law.
So what does the gaze of this void actually do? Well, it acts like a psychic scalpel. It peels back whatever is left of the ego, it silences that nagging inner critic, the superego, and it unleashes the death drive, that pull toward a quiet, inorganic stillness. And under its cold gaze, the traveler is forced to accept one final devastating truth. You are just a guest in a house you do not own.
After a total ego collapse like that, the old self is just gone. The old maps are totally useless. So the question becomes, how do you even navigate this new reality? Well, the prophet provides one last, very complex etching to serve as a guide.
And this is it, the Mirror Labyrinth. Now, it's not a prison. Think of it more as a tactical guide for the fractured soul. On this map, linear time is a complete illusion. Here, in what the file calls the upside down, all of your traumatic events are happening at the same time, in the same place.
And here's the beautiful irony. The prophet gives us a linear set of steps to navigate a place where linearity doesn't even exist. You have to shatter time, walk the corridors of your own suppressed memories, and finally accept that the shadow, your own repressed darkness, was the true architect of your desires all along. Our investigation is almost at an end, but there's one last piece of evidence we need to log. It's a permanent symptom left behind by this journey into the abyss. It's proof that an experience like this can never, ever be fully contained. Etched into the floor of the temple itself are these small, repetitive divots. They're called the tears of the id. They just gather the Earth's moisture, and they symbolize the constant, unstoppable leakage of the unconscious into your daily life. They're proof that what you repress will always, always find a way to return.
And that brings us to the final resolution in the case file. See, this isn't an experience you just walk away from. The integration is total. The traveler is permanently changed. As the file concludes, one can never truly leave the temple because its dampness is now in their marrow.
And with that final piece of evidence, our formal investigation is concluded. The file on the architect of the abyss is stamped, sealed, the case is closed. But there's a final question that just kind of lingers, one you won't find in the file, but it's etched into the experience itself. Now that you've returned from that psychic basement, now that you're home, who exactly is the guest and who is the host?